Hi everyone, welcome to Cancer Healing Journey Talks. Myself Sonali Modi from Community Outreach Team of zenonco.io and Love Heals Cancer. At zenonco.io and Love Heals Cancer, we guide cancer patients on adopting an integrative oncology treatment approach. We help patients find a balance between medical treatment and complementary treatment approaches. We help our patients with our team of oncologists, lab experts, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals so that we can improve the treatment outcome for patients. We also help in connecting patients with other cancer warriors who are going through this journey to address their queries. And we also share inspirational journeys to motivate cancer warriors who are going through this journey currently. So, firstly, I would like to introduce you to today's speaker, Mr. E.Red. He is a cancer warrior. I'm happy that you're here with us today to share your story. So, over to you, sir. Please start with the introduction.
Thank you, first of all, for having me, and good morning from here in Georgia in the United States. Life, I guess, a lot of things in life we don't see coming. And one thing my mom has always taught me is it's the attitude that you handle things with. We serve a mighty God, and He wants us to have a good attitude, when times are good and when times are bad. So with just that mentality, what I've recently just went through that's kind of how I went through it. But about myself, just really quick, I'm a producer, audiovisual producer, content producer. Have the TV show Map TV. We've been doing pretty good with the show. It's original content, so we're very proud of it. And just in the midst of doing things, just listening to my family, and thank God, that's what got me here.
Yeah. So, what made you go for the diagnosis and what were the initial symptoms?
Honestly, the crazy part about it is I never had any symptoms. My younger brother, he had just went for his a few weeks ago prior to me going. And, I do my physicals every year. And my last physical here a few months ago, my blood work was 100% perfect. So other than my doctor telling me I needed to, and my brother telling me that I needed to go get it done, outside of that, I wouldn't. And the doctor wasn't really leaning on me because he was like, your blood work is perfect. If something was wrong, you would tell us in your blood work. Just so happened it didn't. My blood work came back 100% perfect. And had I not gone in for the colonoscopy, I would have never knew. I would have never known.
So, what cancer type it was and at what stage was it diagnosed?
So it took them a while about a couple of weeks once they got me in the colonoscopy, and then me and the doctor, Dr. C, shout out to Dr. Krasinski, that's my guy. He was very instrumental in me being where I'm at right now. His aggressiveness about what he discovered, it was just with his experience, he had seen it before. So like I said, I had a colonoscopy, that's how they detected it. Then they gave me a few more tests so they can figure out exactly what they were dealing with, how I was positioned, what form it had taken, and why, and they were doing all the research. They actually wanted me to go straight from the colonoscophy to the hospital. But, we had a problem here a couple of months ago with the hospitals being overwhelmed from the variants of COVID. So it took me a couple of weeks to get, surgery, but, it kind of went really quick. I think I was really blessed to have the doctor I had because they took cultures and all the cultures came back benign. So, had I not had the doctor and, his experience and him knowing, his attitude was like, no, sir, I don't care where they come back. I've seen this before. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. So after the surgery, he sent the mass off and it was cancer 2.
Stage 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how this news was disclosed to you and your family?
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure everybody that's listening to us can identify with that. Once you hear that diagnosis, it's like a numbing current of electricity flowing through your blood, and, I consider myself a person who has been through a lot in my years, and like I can handle things, but that actually it knocked the one out me for a few seconds, and I had to decide right then if I was going to fight or if I was going to lay down. And right then, his attitude gave me, all the encouragement, on top of, just the foundation my mother's given us as adults in this world. Just having a strong mother, above everything that always rules, having a strong mother in my case. And so, after that, I decided, after I took a deep breath, I said, okay, what do we need to do to get rid of it? How do I get rid of this? What we do? And he was very aggressive. We went right in and scheduled a surgery. It was just getting in and getting it done.
So, like, what treatment have you undergone?
Okay, so the process, the surgery that I had was it was the robotic sigmoidectomy. So that was a bit, of course, I was out for most of it, but when you never had your body opened up before, that's a new experience as well. I've always been healthy, a former athlete. I stay very healthy now. He credited to the way that I work out is being a big helper in a situation, being in a healthy state, and also having a attitude that I was going to fight no matter what, no matter what the outcome was, I was going to fight. But they're monitoring me very closely. I was told for the first year, you're at a very high percentage clip of within that first year of it coming back. So right now they're just monitoring me. Of course, my vitamin D load has went up, and there's several things that they're doing by weeks and by months to implement as I go, as they watch my body, see how I heal. Still having some small residual nerve pain from the surgery, but outside of that, the recovery has been going pretty smooth.
So, like, how did you manage your emotional well-being during those times?
I guess for me, just personally speaking for myself, I'm a creature of habit, and once I decided that I was going to fight, then I kind of stay in a place mentally, and that's where I stayed. I didn't get too high, I didn't get too low. Normally, that's me. I'm just a even kill, and I believe, just living this life we live. I've had to bend over backwards and do flips to make everything happen, including my success with the television show and everything. So, as far as I was concerned, this was like, okay, this is next. Let's go. And that's the attitude I approached it with. But it was just actually God and being able to have an ear to listen to the people that love you, instead of being, hard-headed and listen to the people that love you. It was having an ear that, I thank God that I have the people around me that love me like they do, and push me to do the right thing.
So, like, did you went for chemotherapy or radiation therapy during a treatment?
After surgery, we sat down. The first time I sat down with my oncologist, I actually had the option of, I didn't have to do that. When Dr. C, again, thank him so much, when he went in for the surgery, he was able to do a clean cut out of the mass and clean all the bad cells and everything that's just not good. It could have been left in. He was able to 100% get it out. So, like my oncologist told me, I'm like a one out of a very high number that walks in, and within 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm walking out cancer free. So the option was, they have some new drugs on the market, which my body doesn't seem to like those type of drugs very much. So I had the choice to do, I think it was a chemo pill they just came out with, but the doctor said it was only informing me that I didn't need it. So I have had no other form of chemotherapy or anything else. I've just been blessed to be healthy enough that my body reacted well. I was initially supposed to stay in the hospital for a week. I recovered so fast they let me go home in a day and a half. So that's kind of been the process, God just keeping his hand on me. And, he does the impossible. And this is pretty much, I thank him. I'm blessed every day I open my eyes. No matter what I deal with, I'm here. I'm alive. I have a 22-year-old son, a college graduate who I'm very proud of, and 16-year-old daughter who's getting ready to go to college. So just still being able to be here and open my eyes every morning and hear them smile, hear them joke, hear them talk, even if they're in another room adjacent to me. Those are the things in life you can't buy. And in the beginning, they told me when I showed up, if I didn't come when I did, 2022 would have not been a very long year for me.
So did you try any alternative treatment?
No, I didn't try anything else. The only other thing that my doctor was really strict with me about is my eating habits. I've always been really big on beef. That's always been my go-to since I've been a kid. I just like certain things like that. So that's changed. No beef in my diet, and that's all the things that they can monitor and change and help me. That's what they're doing. So it's been the readjustment of what I can eat versus what I can eat, and just of course staying away from anything that's just naturally bad, a product that's just naturally bad, a lot of fluids. I've always eaten a lot of fruit, so things like those were normal. But other than kind of doing the same thing I've been doing to my body all these years, I haven't not yet had to do anything out of the ordinary. There's been no residual feeling or sound, anything. Just like I told you in the beginning, I never even felt the pain. I wasn't in pain, but my doctor could go in a certain place and press, and he was like, "You don't feel that?" And I was like, "No, I never felt the pain. My body wouldn't allow me to feel the pain from just being in shape." So there is absolutely nothing that I've had to do outside of just this recovery that I'm still dealing with bits and pieces of.
Yeah. So, during such times, it's very important, like to have a strong and sound support system. So who was your support system along with the family?
It's crazy. The Muscle and Classic movement, the television show that we started. I don't consider those people at home fans that's watching my show. I kind of consider them at home family, if you will, just people that I just hadn't seen or talked to directly today. And I think, that kind of, I don't get teary-eyed or emotional about a lot of things, but that really, really just gave me so much encouragement, the outpour and the support from the Muscle and Classics family. Like, I mean, thousands of people, of course, I've never met in my life, just sending emails and DMs and on all the social media platforms, any way they could send me personal messages, they did that. And that was really, really strengthening. That gave me a ton of strength. We just recently went and shot. We're still shooting for season 2. We're working on season 2 now, and we just recently did SEMA about a month ago, and the outpouring of support continued there. When people would see me, they would just follow us around and talk, and I love it. I have fun with them. I talk just like I say, they're like at home family. So as we walk around shooting different interviews from different parts of the convention center, they followed me and talked with me, took pictures with me. We shared, personal stories back and forth. I would like to take my hat off right now to all the veterans that serve this country. It seems like we have a kinship. I have a strong military family as well. And it's just been those groups. They know I genuinely love them, and I genuinely respect them and their sacrifice, because when they serve this country, it's not just the person that's deployed to go somewhere, it's also their family. That's the part people doesn't see. Your family is day to day for them too. It's minute by minute too. They don't see, their loved ones. And so it was the outpouring of support from the Muscle and Classics family, the veterans, American Shelby, Mr. Gary Patterson, Johnny Johnson, the Dino Jet team, just a lot of people in the automotive industry, and a lot of the at-home family that watched the show. They gave me so much love. It was so much love. It was overwhelming. It really was. I didn't expect that. So that, other than my family, my mom, my brother, my sister, my kids, um, other than that, my aunts and uncles, everyone, so, our family is pretty tight. And, when we all come together, we come together. So, of course, I had their support, but just having the support of veterans around this country, fans of the show, family fans of the show, and, I think that was overwhelming. It really was overwhelming. And to this day, I appreciate them. And, I haven't really got a chance to thank everyone yet. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You have no idea how much encouragement, how much strength. You have no idea what you're giving me, and I can't thank you enough, as well
Mm.
as yourself.
Yeah. So, what do people need to expect when they get this cancer type?
Well, of course, I would strongly recommend, listening to your doctor. Your doctor is a professional in his field for that reason. He knows what he's doing. He does this every day. So that's the first thing I would do. But, you really have to be willing and already committed that you're going to fight no matter what,
Mm.
win, lose, or draw. You have to be committed that you're going to fight. But you know, everybody takes things different. So what I will say is you have to be willing to face it head on. No matter, what your diagnosis is, you have to be willing to face it head on because it's definitely not going anywhere. Laying down and walling in a pool of self-pity is not going to help you get better. It starts with having the right attitude and you have to find a space. Yes, sometimes that's the most difficult thing in the world, to find a space to actually feel good in when everything around you seems like it's falling down. So, for me, it was a mental thing and a determination of, okay, I'm fighting no matter what, no matter what's the outcome.
Mm. So, like, did you made any lifestyle changes during or after the treatment?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say it again.
Did you made any lifestyle changes during or after the treatment?
Yes, I did. I started paying more attention to myself. I think a lot of times with, once some of us, that's the biggest thing. Especially with me, I come from a family where we love each other so hard that you really don't pay attention to yourself,
Mm.
and so I think if anything, that's what I've had to start doing more, it's uncomfortable because I'm not used to putting myself first. That's just not who I am as an individual. But yeah, my lifestyle changes has started with me, doing a daily review of myself, uh, physical, mentally, spiritually. How do I feel? What's the goal for the day according to the plan they have me on? So for me, that's where it really starts for me.
Mm. Yeah. So, since you told that many a times we put our family above ourselves, so many a times it's very important to do regular self examinations. So,
Yes.
what do you think is the importance of self examination and why?
Because as you tend to age, this body will perform well for you, as long as you take care of it. But as you tend to age, father time is father time. It's going to come in and it's going to, spread its wings and go where it will. So the more you keep up and understand the difference in how you feel, and like I said, I didn't experience any pain, any discomfort. It was just hiding. And the bumper word didn't tell the story. It was just hiding inside of me. And if I didn't have the ear to listen and the willingness to go through with the process, and I know especially men, we definitely hate that process. I'm sorry, it's not, hate is a strong word, but we dislike it very strongly. I'll say that. But that's what I would say. Men and women all over the world, just, it's very important to get that test. It is. It's very important to have that part of, and that was one thing that I didn't do out of all the things I do to keep up with my health. That was something that I hadn't done. And I was a couple of years overdue doing it. And actually, I just got it done right in the nick of time. Had I waited another 60 or 90 days, I would not be sitting here telling you the same story. So it's very important to know from day to day, as just, being parents, and just being in the everyday, hustle and bustle of life, trying to make a good life for your children, and and trying to get to the next place you need to get to keep everything rolling, especially with this past last year. This COVID thing has really changed a lot.
Hmm.
So it's very important. Self-diagnosis is very important, just to take a few minutes in the morning and you know, it may seem like nothing to you, but you know, it's still worth checking out. And if it's something that stays with you, you have to accept that and be willing to admit that and go to your doctor as soon as you can.
Hmm. So, what all things helped you in your faster recovery?
Dr. C credited the fact that the way I work out. The way I work out is, you know, I've been doing the same workout for high school, so I've been doing it well over 20 plus years. You know, I had a series about 6 or 7 years ago where I was hit by a series of drunk drivers. So, you know, they messed me up pretty good. I was beat up after that. So I had to decide if I was going to, okay, 1A, take medications with young kids and kind of just be under that, control of that all day, trying to raise kids, or I was going to find another way. And I did it through just my working out, lifting weights, running, sit-ups, just doing all the stuff I needed to do during the week. And for like the last 7 or 8 years, I did that every other day to try to work myself back into a functional shape where I can actually be beneficial, you know, and not an extra leg. So he credited that with being the predominant reason why my recovery has went so fast. You know, the morning after my surgery, when I woke up, my body was trying to function as normal, like I didn't have surgery. So that's why I was able to move through the process of not being in the hospital for 7 days and only spend a day and a half in there. My body was trying to heal itself, and it's still doing the same thing now. It wants to be 100% healed and it's fighting for that. So sometimes I have some little residual nerve pain, and you know, I just try to deal with it the best way I can. But you know, that's what he credited with that. And you know, my eating habits could have been better. So that's the thing I've changed, you know, according to their direction. So, you know, those are the two things that he most credited to, but also having the right attitude. The moment that he told me that and we locked eyes, and after it knocked the one out of me and I caught my breath, you know, those three things, you know, just being in shape, halfway trying to eat right or eating right, and having the willingness to say, I'm not going without a fight.
Hmm.
Those are the biggest things that we are credited to where I'm at now.
Yeah. So, every crisis in life teaches you a particular lesson. So, what life lessons has you got from your cancer journey?
But primarily that I'm not invisible. Sometimes we go for so long and go so hard, you know, we kind of have a, you know, even if it's something that's in, you know, not even forefront of our life, but I'm not invincible. You know, no matter how good of shape I was in or what I do wrong or what I do right, it still can happen. You know, it still can happen. So I would say that. I would say you just had to be willing to fight. And I would keep going back to that your attitude, you have to be determined. You know, you have to be determined.
Hmm. So, are you still in remission period?
Yes, and just being monitored very closely. You know, I'm in and out that office a couple of times a month now, and staying on it is what's going to help me continue to live a life and continue to go forward. So, you know, one time I used to be kind of lackadaisical. Like I said, I've always taken yearly physicals. I've always listened to what my doctor said, you know, outside of me being hard headed when it comes to taking in the past certain medications, my body just reacts funny and I feel lethargic most of the time I'm on medicine. And I know people can identify with that. So if it's a natural way, I can handle it. I've always taken that route, you know, with working out, eating right, you know, taking vitamins, just paying attention to my age versus what your body stops producing at a certain age that you need to put back. I think that's very important too. At a certain age in all of us, male or female, your body stops producing things that was there just freely your whole life. And you have to be aware that you have to know what to put back. You know, it's the difference in energy. It's the difference in your mind being right, having a clear head to think. Like, you know, your body does not continue to behave as if it's a teenager, 20-year-old body. And you have to make yourself aware of that. You have to know, okay, I'm this old. So at this age, my body isn't doing that no more. So I need to assist. So that also is, I've always been very focused on that.
So, like, do you have the fear of reoccurrence? And if yes, then how you like cope up with this thought?
Well, you never say never. Because we wake up in the morning and we live these lives. That's the amount of control we have. So you never say never, but like I said, having a determined mind, having a determined spirit to fight. I don't wake up every day thinking that. I cross bridges as I get to them. A lot of times we can bombard ourselves with a lot of thoughts, and those thoughts that keep us in a dark place. It's just thoughts of what could happen or what couldn't happen. I'm a firm believer. I understand I'm sitting here now because I have faith and I'm willing to fight. So as I cross that bridge, of course, just like I said, in the first year, it's more likely to reoccur. But my doctors don't think it will, and we haven't seen any signs of that yet. Just continual healing. But my thing is, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to continue to do what they tell me and do what I can control. And those are all the things that I can control. I can't control anything else, and I'm not going to try. I'm only going to stay in control of what I can, because that's the amount that I'm supposed to handle. That's my part. God does the heavy lifting most of the time, as long as we do our part, and we have to do that. We have to actively be participants in making ourselves better as well, but I don't wake up with that fear every morning. I refuse to live in fear. I refuse to be focused on that all the time. I continue to live every day and enjoy the day as much as I can, even if it wasn't a good day. You have to find something to be positive about. You cannot live your life in a shell in a corner, beat up inside. It takes a lot as an individual, but you have to decide for yourself you're going to fight. You have to be committed to that. So I'm committed to doing the right things, doing what my doctors tell me, to go forth. So, the way I look at it, like I told them, if we ever get to that bridge, then we'll figure out how to cross it. But I don't think about it. I don't. I think about where I presently am. That's what I can control.
Yeah. So, gratitude seems to be the biggest strength to fight the situation. So, what were you ever so grateful for that made you always calm down after thinking or revisiting that memory?
Again, my family and my doctors, Dr. C and his staff, the whole staff at Kaiser and the staff at Emory, they made it seem, I guess, easy, for lack of a better word. They made this process seem like a walk through the park, because they were, professionals. They were very professional, and they're actually some of the best people in the country in their position. And I'm just blessed that I had a doctor, and me and his attitude was the same. I think that was a big part of it. How you identify with the person you trust, to help you through medical conditions or advise you on medical conditions. It's bedside manner when I was a kid was a normal thing, and it's not so much nowadays. But if you can find that in a doctor and find that in a team of people, and they're genuinely sincere about who they are, I think that was, from that moment, just sitting down and me and him closing the door and he looking me in my eyes and giving me that diagnosis. Like I said, after the initial catching my breath, I think that was the biggest thing. It's like me and him decided we were teaming up that day, and it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna definitely be a fight, and I
Mm.
think that's what did it for me.
Yeah. So, how do you feel more positive?
I'm alive. I'm aware of my condition. Had I not taken that test, I can't say either one of those things would probably be what's going on right now. So positive is almost an understatement. I am so overly thankful that I'm able to wake up and talk to you this morning. I'm so overly thankful that God's given me another day to wake up and be a part of my kids' life, because That's our job as parents, to leave a legacy for our children, especially fathers. That's our job, to leave a road for our kids to continue to go forth. And God has given me another day and more time to do that. So with every day, that's my motivation. Nothing good outside of how we see it as individuals or bad can happen that's going to take me off of that place right there. My feet are firmly planted there. So when I wake up in the morning, it's easy to be positive. I woke up, I'm here. I'm here. I have a beautiful daughter, and I'm proud of my child. I'm proud of my children, my son and my daughter, and it just fills me with joy every day. I can wake up and just hear them, even if they're in the next room joking or playing or something. I'm so thankful, and I think a lot of people, we look at life and look at about if versus money and having a lot of it or not, like the peace and the happiness that I have in my spirit right now, I couldn't purchase that anywhere.
Hmm. So, what would be your message to other cancer patients and survivors?
Uh, of course, keep up the fight, try to stay positive. But, my advice to anyone would be, preventive care. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you today. Preventive care. If you can cut this thing off at the pass, like, the doctors were able to do with me, uh, it makes all the difference in the world. Had I not had that preventive care and waited months and months on end, my diagnosis would not have been good at all. So preventive care, just knowing, okay, you're a certain age, you're scheduled to take this, you need to take it. That type of preventive care, even if you are not the adequate age, because, a lot of times, we have generations before us that didn't go to the doctor, or had a fear of going to the doctor. So in some cases, you won't know, it's in your DNA, it's in your family's bloodline that you're probably going to have this that someone else had in your family down the line. So if you don't know your family's medical history, prevention, preventive care. If you do, and you just trust yourself, trust your gut. We're the biggest doctors first of knowing what's going on inside this body that we're living in. So preventive care, most definitely, and paying attention to yourself. It's okay to put you first. Sometimes parents, it's okay to put yourself first. Sometimes the kids understand, but if you can't be strong and you're not solid, then that leaves no one to be there for them. So preventive care, and being very aware of what you physically feel like from one day to the next, or one week to the next. But preventive care, that is number one. If you're of age, I would advise everyone, male, female, go get a colonoscopy. It saved my life.
Hmm. So at zenonco.io, we work towards the betterment of cancer patients through integrative oncology approach. So what are your thoughts on the same, on what we are doing in terms of patient care?
I think it's great what you guys are doing, the support level. This is one of those things where you feel like you're alone. You really do. You're not sitting there with somebody else that has a similar diagnosis, or that's been there, can give you, the amount of wisdom they have gained from the experience. So yeah, I can't. You guys, what you're doing, how you're supporting, people in my condition, and in different stages of this process. It's amazing, because there's not a lot of places, that you can go and receive that type of support outside your doctor and your family, and people that's, in that inner circle with you that knows what's going on there. So you guys are a blessing, and I take my hat off to you, and just please continue to work. Please continue to work. Please continue to work. In some cases, you're all people have. And that's a beautiful thing to know. And the world we live in today is a lot different than the world we grew up in, me and you both. But, having somebody that's not there because it's a gain you get out of it, or, usually when you do, somebody's doing something for you, they're getting something out of it. And you guys aren't. you're just doing the work like you're supposed to do. You're being obedient and you're helping people's spirit and soul heal and bodies heal. So I take my hat up to you guys, and please don't stop the work. And at anytime, anything I can do, you guys just please reach out. Feel free.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your kind words. So, if you have to sum up your journey in one sentence, then what would that be?
Grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm
Yeah.
very grateful. Very. It's really that simple. I'm ecstatically great. Very grateful. I thank the Lord every day. I thank Him through the day. I thank Him in my sleep. I thank Him when I'm woke. I'm grateful. It's just something you don't see coming, but when you get there, you have to do what you have to do to get through. So, like I said, I'm very, very grateful for the circle of people He's putting around me to walk with me through this. I'm very grateful, and I just want to thank everybody again. The overwhelming outpour of support has just been, amazing. And I'm sorry if I hadn't been able to respond to everyone's emails. I have gotten thousands upon thousands upon thousands of support, and you never know people care about you that much. So like I said, you guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. I just want to thank you, and I want to encourage you. You're very strong and you're very motivated, and I hope people know sitting home that you're an angel, and this angel is blessing a lot of lives out there. But for me, I'm just very grateful to be where I'm at, where I am now.
Your story is really inspiring. And thank you so much for your kind words, E.Red. I hope this session really inspires people out there who are traveling
Yes.
or who have traveled through this cancer journey. So it was lovely having you here today on this session with us. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you too. It's been an honor. You guys take care.